YSK never plug an unknown USB device into your computer. YSK USB devices are an easy way for bad people to install bad things into your computer without you knowing. You risk your data, the network you work on, and control of your computer by plugging in a USB that you do not know. If you find a USB, throw it out. Best case, it's something interesting, hint it's not. Worst case, all of your personal information and files are now in the hands of someone with bad intentions. X200B. Bad actors who want to use USB drives as an attack vector will just toss some drives into a company parking lot. You can rest assured someone will plug one in. I got a call from a local school saying they found my USB and it had my resume on it. That's how they knew it was mine. Thankfully mine was benign. Scary to think how vulnerable their network is because of someone being kind and trying to find the owner. Disappointed face. It's not just malware. Someone with a few capacitors and a soldering iron can make a USB stick that can physically fry your machine. Such an attack involves charging capacitors off the 5V USB power and, at a certain level, dumping a huge charge back into the machine, and boom, instant paperweight. BTW. Buying second-hand USB sticks suck for the same reason. And second-hand crypto ledgers. And second-hand hard drives, etc. Why not? I found a USB stick and was wondering if I could use it to update the firmware on my uranium centrifuges. There are ways to isolate said USB so there is minimal risk. Yet, I would do it only on a throwaway machine that can and will be reset when used. But for us normlos, just don't plug any USB devices in your PC. P.S. There's also someone who made an USB cable that did the same with phones while charging them, so be careful when it comes to hardware devices and obviously softwares. Gee, I wonder where this LPT is coming from. I also wonder about devices from China on Amazon. Are we to assume that they contain malware or spyware and not to use? You saw the same post, Hup. Lol, was this directed at the post in Ardam? That's interesting. Gee, I wonder how this might have been brought up. Mr. Robot taught me this. Also, to never trust a CD anyone gives you either. I'd probably recommend leaving it where it is rather than throwing it out. Assuming it's somewhere random in the street. If it's someone's USB they've lost, they might come back and find it later. If it's malicious, then you haven't picked it up. If it's somewhere like your company parking lot, hand it into security IT and explain the situation. If it's malicious, it could be a targeted attack on your company and they need to know to potentially expect other attempts. Or keep an old crap laptop as a pawn machine, disconnect from your networks, log out of sites, and use it. Worst case, you're out a $40 laptop. Best case, the USB is already plugged in and you'll wanna drag and drop the new files of big titty goth girls on the laptop anyways. And because I know some people absolutely cannot stop themselves from still doing it, for the love of God, at least don't do it on a company device. This simple action can literally compromise the entire company network. Sometimes, things that look and act like thumb drives might not be thumb drive at all. Instead, they're teeny tiny computers, like a credit card chip. As someone studying comping, I've made several of these devices the size of the wireless mouse USB dongles, one of which can spy on you by capturing your outbound network traffic. Isn't that amazing? In all seriousness though, don't plug anything to your computer if it's not yours, even harmless looking charging cables. I saw that post too. Lamau. Was happy to see everyone informing them. They're moving to USB cables now, which is a cool attack vector. Basically don't plug anything into a computer unless you know where it came from. Something most people don't understand is that if it's malicious, simply containing a malware file is the best case scenario, not the only option as some think. It could be a so-called bad USB, which will emulate a keyboard and run commands at speeds faster than you can react. And depending on who you are, The worst case scenario might even be an extremely cheap device that will literally fry whatever it's plugged into, be it a car's computer. Yes, this is possible, or your $3,000 gaming PC. Just watched a work security training that was all spy movie-like and dramatic, and it showed this lesson. It was good for a cybersecurity training movie. When did this sub go from useful little-known tips to barely functioning humans discovering a self-evident and ubiquitous fact? 3-4 years? And in that same manner, don't plug in your phone to charge at public USB ports. Wasn't Stuxnet deployed on the Iranian nuclear facilities through a single USB device? Extremely related, you shouldn't be online without an ad blocker, for pretty much the same reasons and then some. You especially shouldn't be online without an ad blocker if you're on mobile and have a fixed amount of data. Use someone else's computer. This also goes for phone charging cables too. Check out the OMG cable. Disguises itself as a phone charging cable, but comes with its own gateway that allows a hacker in remotely, can do whatever they want to the machine it's in. Spare PC not connected to the internet, person shrugging. Can you open a virtual box first and then plug the USB in? Sometimes a dude will be standing outside of your office building every day trying to push his mixtape on you. He'll finally convince you to just take one and give it a listen. You'll go back to your office, put it in your computer, but it won't work. Next thing you know, bam, owned by the dark army. FYI, just keep a piece of junk laptop that you were gonna throw away when you bought a new one. Completely erase that sucker with a few runs of the secure erase function that comes with your SSD. Air gap it by never connecting it to a network. Then, when you do find interesting looking USBs, you can just plug them into that. At most, you destroy a laptop you were gonna throw away anyway. At best you get to read someone's family recipe for mud cake. But what exactly is an unknown USB device? Surely the USB device is known to someone. George Carlin. And certainly not if you're the resident tech wizard at MI6 and should know better. God damn it, Q, you idiot. Do you like to play games? I probably practice better safety on my computer than my own privates. If you find a USB, plug it into a library computer or one that doesn't belong to you. Fixed it for you. Yeah, same with butt plugs you find on the ground at the Arizona State Fair. They may seem innocuous and clean, but they are riddled with cootie bugs. Unless you want cooties in your cornhole, heed my warning. Fun fact, technically it then is not a USB drive but a keyboard entering predefined commands on your computer, which is disguised as USB. I once got a virus from a flash drive I found when I was 16 at a pumpkin patch. Don't even try it with a cable. There are new ones with a viral package built into the USB end. This edition of advice from 2007. Not sure how a USB drive can steal info when it's only a USB drive that doesn't mimic a USB keyboard or something. I'm asking how. Yeah, it's a good idea to never trust a USB device, but I'm asking how something like this works. What's the Reddit equivalent of subtweeting? And don't say subredditing. Just unsubbed. This sub is a joke. Well, I don't give USB keys root privileges, so I plugged a questionable controller into my PC and saw I was immediately flooded with malware. I reinstalled OS after unsuccessfully attempting to remove the bad stuff. I, too, saw that post. I feel like this is related to a post I saw on another sub a couple hours ago. I see you saw the post over, and damn, that's interesting as well, haha. Someone saw the post on our damn, that's interesting. I don't even use USBs anymore. They're easily infected.